Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the final screening, closing night screening of Blood in the Snow 2013. We're going to let our one of our programmers, Kirk Haviland, come up and introduce the films, but I just wanted to talk to you first because this is our last screening. First off, we're going to have our stick around after. We're going to have our closing party at the Marquis de Granby. I never say it right. Marquis de Granby around the corner on Church Street. So just follow me, basically, like the Pied Piper again. We'll walk down the street and on Church Street, and there's some drink specials. And if you guys were there on Friday night and Saturday night, you know what it's like. So please stick around for that because we're going to have an awards ceremony. We're giving you 10 awards, the Bloodies. We're going to hand out at the pub tonight. It'll be a lot of fun, so you can see what our programming committee decided that were a bit of our favorites of the favorites, because it was really tough this year because as you can, for people, the festival pass holders, they've been saying how solid the lineup is this year, and we're really, really proud of all 23 films that we had this year, and it was an absolutely phenomenal success, both with attendance-wise and just everyone's reaction. I've gotten all these kudos from everyone about how great it is to me, kind of, but I'm just one person. Yeah, I started it, but these people right here, I want to thank. This is how many people it takes to run a fantastic festival like this. So I want them to come on up here. Obviously too many to all, don't want to delay the screening, but I just want to show the faces of everyone involved, and it does take a team to do this, and they just did everything you could possibly imagine. I mean, we're talking 14-hour days. Just yesterday alone, kind of thing like that was quite the miracle. So I just want to personally say a warm-hearted thank you to all of you. Some of you are like my closest friends, and it means so much to me to have you guys on. I wouldn't do this if we didn't have you guys, and we all thank you. So thank you. Now get back to work.
Now it's Allie's turn.
You can stay close up. Okay. And here's Kirk to take it from here.
Well done.
Good evening. How's everybody doing tonight? You guys are here for a very, very special closing evening. I cannot tell you, I'm so excited for you guys to see this movie. And the short that's in front of it, they're both fantastic. I'm going to try and get the logistics out of the way first. So we want to give a huge thank you to Anchor Bay Entertainment Canada, who's one of the main sponsor for the festival. They've been fantastic. Really been supporting. Really want to thank them a lot. We also have our media sponsors, Fangoria, who are out in the lobby. Chris Alexander, the editor of Fangoria, has been one of the biggest supporters of this festival from the very beginning. So big thanks to Chris. Black Flag TV, which is blackflag.com, new sponsor this year. They've been great with us. And our rental sponsor, which is Suspect Video. And we're listed them in the lobby. Another great supporter. So, our community sponsor for tonight is actually Dork Shelf. Dork Shelf, the website, they've been a big supporter of this film in particular, and the festival as a whole. So, we really want to thank Dork Shelf for doing that with us as well. And now, I can tell you a little about the films tonight. I'll start by saying that our feature tonight, Discopath, it's quite special. I'm not going to get into the details about how it came about to be part of the festival until I actually get to the Q&A with Renaud, who is here, which is fantastic. He's in from Montreal, so we'll be able to talk to him a little bit after the festival. But the short before, I'm actually going to bring Jay Clark up to talk a bit about. I do have a little bit of a story about this, though. I mean, when we're programming a festival like this, and programmers, we're looking through a lot of stuff, and this community is so great, it's so tight, everybody kind of knows each other. So once in a while you get one of these weird situations where you pop in something and you're like, hey, what the hell? Lively came across my path, and I had no idea whose short it was. I just knew the name. I pop it in, and the first thing I see is Ali Chappelle, who's actually one of our volunteers. She's actually the lead in the short. I'm sitting there watching this, and I'd only met Ali a couple times at the point, and I'm sitting there going, who is this girl? I know who the hell this is. Who is it? It's bothering me throughout the entire film. I have no idea who it is. Next thing you know, Todd Rowland shows up. I know Todd's not here tonight, but Todd's another person that I know that I've actually done work with. And then, of course, anybody who's in this business knows if you're doing Canadian films, especially the independent kind, there's kind of a check mark that really marks it as Canadian, which is, do you have Robert Nolan? Or do you have Ryan Barrett in your film? And Ryan Barrett pops up on stage, pops on the screen, and I'm like, okay, yeah, okay, there's your check mark. You're good to go. So I watched the end of the film, the credits come up, and immediately Jay Clark's name come up. And I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do now? Because I don't want to sit there and go to the team and say, we need to program this. But at the same time, it's so good that I want to be biased. So I literally walked in and said, you guys gotta tell me this is good. Because I can't do it, because I know Jay too well. So but thankfully the entire team loved it. So Jay, get your butt down here so you can talk about it. Let's come on up as well. So, tell them about your film.
Well, that was a hell of an intro.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming, everyone. I grew up in the 80s, so I was raised on a steady diet of slashers. So this is kind of my take on the whole babysitter horror trope or genre. I hope you like it, or you're at least mildly entertained for 10 or so minutes. I just want to say some thank yous. Thank my cast and crew. This is my leading lady, Ali Chappell. There's some other people from the film here tonight. I want to say a special thank you to my brother, who offered up his house as a location when my first one fell through. I want to thank Kirk and Kelly for programming it. It's fantastic that they accepted it with open arms. And yeah, I want to thank all you guys for coming out. I'm super excited that my film is playing in front of Discopath, because I missed it when it played Fantasia, so I'm super stoked to see it, and that my film's playing in front of it. So yeah, enjoy it, everyone.
And if it's your first time here, or if you've been here all weekend, you know that we've actually been handing out what we like to call little buddies pins, so you're now an official member of the club.
I've been waiting for this all weekend.
Congratulations, guys. Here, this is the director, Renaud. He likes to be called Ronnie. So, start off with a couple questions. First one, the one that I've been asked the most about this film is, what on earth did you shoot on, and how you got that look?
Well, first of all, thanks for watching. Thank you guys, it's cool. I actually shot on a red camera, but using anamorphic low-mode lenses, Russian lenses from the 70s. That's what gave us a good base to then tweak it just a bit in post. I didn't add scratches or skips or whatever, just gave it a, just a regular 35 look. That's how it was achieved, but years of practice.
And actually, yes, can you talk a bit about how you came across your lead, Jeremy? He is fantastic in it.
He does pull it off real good. I auditioned about 10 guys maybe, and I don't know, he just seemed, he had that, well, there's a story, we actually wanted Macaulay Culkin to play the Discopath. We actually got the script to his people, and they looked it up, and he decided that he was not doing movies anymore. But then we had Jeremy, he has a British father and a French-Canadian mother, so he could do us somewhat of a good New York accent, New York. And, he just looked real good. And actually, it was kind of too buff, I think, but, and that's one of my regrets in my movie is too much guy's ass instead of tits. But, that's just me.
I have one more for me before I throw it out to the crowd, because I'm sure they got a lot to talk about, but I want to talk a little bit about the music, because as we were discussing earlier, you are a musician yourself, and he actually did the theme for the film himself. So, can you talk a bit about the music, the original music that was used in, and getting licensing and everything for the, more notoriable song, especially the Kiss song, which I mean, that song kicks in and the film's going in overdrive right there. So.
Well, that's called production value. I tried to make a soundtrack that, like a Giorgio Moroder soundtrack or a John Carpenter soundtrack. So we had the instrumentals. I collect old synths and all that. So everything was strictly pre-1981. That was a strict rule for all the original music. And then, when I wrote the script, I pulled out a couple of songs that I wanted in there. I pretty much got half of them. But for example, the Bee Gees wanted $50,000 for Tragedy, so that was way over budget. But I worked out a good deal with Josh at Universal, and I managed to get all these songs for not for a song, but we got a pretty good deal. And I'm very satisfied with that, and it's important, as in any film, and especially a genre or horror film. You need music to. I would have used a little bit more volume, but that's just me. Thanks, man.
So, any questions? Sure.
I want to congratulate you on this film. It was fantastic, everything about it. I love the casting. The cops are excellent. So I just wondered if you could talk about your process recreating the 70s. Like I thought you really captured the era, like everything from the clothing, the vehicles, and isolating the locations. Can you talk about that?
I make a living as an art director, and I collect. I've been collecting costumes and artifacts and cars and name it from the 60s and 70s forever. So it was especially important to me that it looks genuine, and that's why. Sorry, I got a cold. That's why, every detail is very important. I bought some old fucking cars, and then they were breaking down. And my girlfriend's over here, right there. We produced a movie together at Manhattan. We were busy shooting. She was boosting the hearse, and then all the cars broke down. And if you notice, there's lots of oil everywhere. Whenever there's those old cars, there's a bunch of oil everywhere. And I have friends that have a costume shop, so we really fitted everybody so that everything looked real. And it's I really hate it when you see something that's supposed to be period and it doesn't look it. There's a couple of things that are limit, but if you didn't notice anything, that means we succeeded. Thanks.
Did you find a club that actually still had a glass dance floor, or did you build a glass dance floor?
We actually built that floor, sir.
Wow.
Yeah, it was in an old cinema. We just got the plexiglass and all the lights and all that stuff, and all the lights that are all vintage as well. I got that for it's working for a long time in the cinema business in Montreal and the television. So I had contacts. I could get all the original lights, and I made sure everything was period. And that was nuts, building the floor. I'm glad you liked it.
That was amazing, by the way. That was definitely one of my favorite sequences.
Yeah.
My question is, how long did it take you to make the movie?
We had a regular schedule. I think it took 24 days, 23 days.
Oh, not the shooting period, but like to get to that.
To the whole thing. I started getting that idea years ago, maybe like 5-6 years ago, and then I was writing a first draft, and then trying to get financing together, and then since it's a genre, it was always declined. And then my girlfriend says, she forced me to complete the script, and then when I had a complete script, we applied again for grants, nothing. So it was all done with all our friends and all the production companies that we know. So I'd say maybe 6 years from start to finish. Now I'm touring with the film all over the world with festivals. I'm just back from England and Paris and Barcelona and having a great time, and now Toronto, and on the way to perhaps maybe Slamdance in Brazil next year, and possibly a short theatrical release in the new year. So 6 years. Thank you.
I'm wondering, because some of the influences you could see right in the film, like for me there was like a bit of Maniac, and I'm wondering if the nun outfit was like a Ms. 45 kind of.
I don't know. The
Think
nun
about-
outfit, when I see it now, I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, but Maniac, yeah, mainly, I don't know.
Just like what sort of what kind of inspired, I guess, the film? Like,
I'm a big Carpenter fan, and I like Brian De Palma as well. I don't know. It's those. I like the giallo also. That's my next feature that I'm going to do is going to do like a real giallo. But you know, I'm not a big gory guy. You know, I wanted to have. It's basically, as we say in French, a bit of an exercice de style. It's got lots of styles. You know, like horror, and then of course lots of humor. But Maniac is some. Did you like the new Maniac or the old Maniac?
I like
both. Me too. And you know, I was trying to make a film from 1980, and you know, that could play on, you know, in 1980. That was the plan. So I guess I don't know. Thanks for Maniac. Okay.
Questions? Sir?
I really liked the dark comedy in the film. Do you want to talk about how you got the right balance between sort of gore and horror and comedy in the film?
It's a fine line. I gotta say that was my main worry when we were making it and writing it. You know, because I've done lots of video clips and shorts that are very over the top and funny, but I wanted Discopath to be scary. But it's, you know, it's not that scary, but there's a fine line, and you know, I was able to go through it. So sometimes, because I mean it to be funny sometimes, of course. You guys all reacted well to tabarnak, as opposed to England, people are like, tabarnak. And you know, it's important in a film to have, you know, go up and down, and bring it back to funny and then scary, and it's tough to do that. My next one's not going to be funny at all, actually. I'm hoping, but probably not. This is making me thirsty.
I was going to say, we were talking about that earlier as well, that your next one actually is going to be a period piece again.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Is there something that really appeals to you about doing a period piece, especially around that 80s type of vibe that you are shooting for?
It's just that I've been collecting, and I've been surrounded by that stuff for years. I like these movies. My next one's going to be a real giallo set in Milan in '72 called Pierrot, with the Pierrot killer, and with orange blood and very stylish and possibly not very funny, more scary and more like a real slasher. But you know, I'm known for in Montreal, whatever, and somebody wants to do period, when they call me as an art director, and it transpires to what I do as a director as well. Thank you, Kirk.
Do we have any more questions? Great. Well, thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Awesome.